Hey, welcome to class. Today is Tuesday. We will be doing a Unit 7 test review using Quizlet Live, or, if you're not one for Quizlet Live, I will post the study set, the link to the actual questions that we'll be using on Edmodo. And, I posted something that kind of told you guys what we're going to do today. From 11 to 1, I will be on Zoom. We can play a bunch of games and see, who wants to keep playing, and if you want to go and do it by yourself, I don't care. That's fine. I just want you to review. The video, obviously, that we're doing right now is going to be me going over. I picked 10 questions from the study guide, and I thought those were might be a little challenging for you, so I picked those 10. I can also stay on Zoom from 1 to 2 if you guys ask me to go over any other problems before the test. I'm going to show you homework 13 is another test review. So remember, Wednesday you have your test on the whole Unit 7. So basically the questions from Quizlet today are from the study guide you have in your packet. However, if you take a look at your packet, here's a study guide. However, if you look at homework 13, it is an additional review. Okay, so if you need to, we can pick problems out of here. If you want to come to Zoom, it's 2 pages. Let's say you're having trouble factoring 4 terms with grouping. Come and we can do this problem together, Let's say you have trouble dividing. Come, we can do these problems together. I'm here for whatever you need, but, if no one comes from 1 to 2, I'm going to go. You can text me if you want to get on. I will be available from 1 to 2, okay? So text me if you need me. We are taking a quiz or a test on Wednesday, so let that sink in. Let's get started on the study guide. And we'll start with turn the page to the study guide. We'll start with number 10. Let's get into it. Shall we, kids? I went to Target today. I did a drive-up order, and I feel like that's going to be the future of shopping. It's kind of like having a personal shopper. It was kind of cool. Anyway, so this one says simplify the polynomial. And remember, from the very beginning of this online school, we have to multiply by distributing. And whenever you see something on the outside of parentheses, like these 2 guys here, you have to distribute and then simplify everything, combine like terms. So when we do that, we get negative 20y squared plus 44y. And then over here, we get minus 6y squared. And then it's going to be minus 20y. Okay, now we combine our like terms. Remember, our highest degree comes first. So we've got negative 20 minus 6 gives us negative 26y squared. And then we've got a positive 44y and a negative 20y, which becomes plus 24y. Y. Good. Right? We've got the next one, number 13. This is another, just simplify. Whenever you have something like this, you need to simplify. So whatever it says to do, if you see parentheses, you're behind, better know you're multiplying. So we're going to multiply and distribute this first term. It's kind of like FOIL. Hopefully you guys like the FOIL. First terms being multiplied are 2x times x, which becomes 2x squared. The O stands for, so if we do FOIL, this stands for first, outer, inner, and then last. Okay, so the first term's 2x squared. The outer terms multiplied becomes negative 6xy. Some of you get hesitant when you see 2 variables being multiplied. Just put in alphabetical order, call it a day, that's it. Okay, so your inner becomes plus 5xy, again, an x times a y. And then your last becomes a negative 15y squared. Now, looking at what you just multiplied, the only things that are like are this negative 6xy and plus 5xy. So bringing everything down, you get 2x squared minus xy minus 15y squared. I'm going to get better at these boxes. You just wait and see. Okay, so that's how you FOIL. Over here, we're going to FOIL again, but at the end, we're going to have another term to combine right here. So x times 4x is 4x squared. We've got minus 2x. Then we've got inner. So plus 16x, and then last terms on each binomial becomes negative 8. And then do not forget to bring this guy down, so it's going to be minus 2x squared. Okay, take a step back and look at the whole thing. I have a 4x squared minus 2x squared. This is the highest degree, so I know that that term comes first. 2x squared, then I have my x's. Negative 2x plus 16x becomes positive 14x. And then this lonely minus 8 is the last one. So that's that. I swear it takes me longer to box my answers than anything else. Okay, last term. Remember, before we divided by binomials, we divided by a monomial. And we basically just, if you recall, highlighted doing this and then dividing over here. So let's divide these two terms. Always do the coefficient first. So we've got 27 divided by 3 is our 9. We've got c to the 4th over c squared is c squared. And d to the 7th divided by d cubed is d to the 4th. Okay, now we're going to do these two terms. So 15 divided by 3 becomes plus 5. C cubed divided by c squared just leaves you with a c. D to the 5th divided by d cubed is d squared. These boxes are reckless. Okay. And there are your answers for the operations with polynomials. This was like the very beginning, maybe the first 2 weeks of online learning. We practiced operations with polynomials. Okay, so the next page, you turn it, we're probably going to be, okay, so we've got two perimeter / area, well, these are area, 2 area problems. Then we'll get into factoring, and at the end, we'll do a dividing problem. So write an expression to represent the area. Remember, area equals length times width. So if I know that this times this gives me the area, I'm going to set it up using the smallest term in the beginning. Okay, this is all they want you to do. Okay, so write an expression to represent the area of the rectangle. So you have to actually do this. So we're going to distribute the first term to each of the terms in the trinomial. So this now becomes 4x cubed, and then 4x times negative x is negative 4x squared. 4x times 3 is plus 12x. Now we've got to go times 1, but that just kind of keeps everything the same. So we're going to do plus x squared minus x plus 3. Now we've got a whole bunch of things going on here. We've got only 1x cubed, so that stays the same. I've got these two. I've got this x term and this x term, and then just a constant. So let's go back and make sure that we can combine the terms correctly and get it together there. So first term, like I said, is the cube because there's only 1. So 4x cubed, and then the blues, negative 4x squared plus x squared is minus 3x squared. And then the reds, 12x minus x is plus 11x. And then our constant comes last. I'm going to try to box that, but this is our answer. Okay, number 18, we have to do the shaded region. Now, this is a very, very simple shaded region problem. Okay, there are no, as you can notice, there are no x's, no variables in the unshaded region. So this becomes very simple. Remember, the area of the shaded, which is what they always ask you for, equals the area of the whole rectangle. I can't even tell you how many times I've written this for you guys. The area of the whole rectangle minus the area of the unshaded rectangle. So obviously in this case, this 7 by 3 rectangle is unshaded, and the whole one is x times x plus 2. So we literally just said it right here. So the area equals, the area of what they want, the shaded region, equals x times x plus 2, and that's going to be the area of the whole rectangle. So this is the area of the whole. And then we're subtracting because we want to take this away. 7 times 3, which is just 21. Remember, this is the unshaded. Okay. So now all we have to do is distribute there. Oh my God, I hate this noise. We're going to distribute there and just simplify, and you'll see that this is very simple once we get it. So this equals x squared plus 2x minus 21, and that's it. That's it. So obviously you have more complicated problems where you have variables all around here and you have a trinomial and a binomial and you have to do a whole big thing, kind of like we did in 17. And then imagine you would be subtracting like 2x plus 4 times x or something. Like if this was a crazy, not crazy, but if this was more involved dimensions, then obviously this problem would be more involved. But this is the basic essential way how to do this. Area of the whole rectangle minus the area of the unshaded region. Okay, let's go down and then we'll do these factoring problems. So we're going to do numbers 21, and if you see the directions, it's just factor each completely. So those are the directions when you see a polynomial that's kind of in simplest form. So this is simplest form. Now we're going to take it out. We're going to undistribute it. So number 21 wants us to factor this, but the first thing you should realize here that these numbers and variables, these terms, are both perfect squares. So what we want to do is take the square root of each term, if you remember square root, and then we're going to get 8y squared plus 4y to the third, and then the rules for difference of squares just says the other term is the opposite. So if this was a sum, the next term is going to be a difference. And then this is our factored completely answer. Okay, remember with exponents, to get the square root, you just half them, divide them by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. We learned this in school, how to square root these exponent guys. So this one, we've got 4 terms, so we automatically know that this is a grouping problem. So we're going to split it in half and see if that works. I have this term and this term, and I'm going to take out the GCF. So between 4 and 12, I know the GCF is 4. And between x squared and x cubed, I know that I can take out an x squared, which would leave me with x plus 3. Now I've got a hint as to what the other term over here is going to be. I've got negative 25x and negative 75. And if I want the inside of that binomial that's left to be a plus, I have to take out a negative. The common term between these two, the number is 25. So if I divide that out, I'm left with x plus 3, which is what we wanted. And then we take these guys here, create a binomial. So 4x squared minus 25 times our common one, which is x plus 3. I'm going to do a dramatic pause. Are we done? Hopefully you said no, because this is a difference of squares. So I'm going to pretend that this is not here and go into this box. So this needs to be factored into 2 different binomials now. So you recognize that these are both perfect squares. So the square root of 4x squared is 2x. The square root of 25 is 5. So this breaks up into 2x minus 5 times 2x plus 5. And then we just bring this guy down and have a party. So this is, all 3 of these binomials are the answer. So you cannot just leave it here. This is not factored completely. So it's not completely factored. Okay, you have to get this answer right here. This is your answer, because this is a difference of squares. You cannot leave it like this, because they'll be like, well, hello, it's not factored. So this is the utmost importance that you actually factor it completely. All right, last one, I chose a slip and slide for you with a GCF. I saw that most of you had trouble with the ones that had a GCF and you were slipping and sliding. So first thing you always have to do with polynomials is take out the GCF, the greatest common factor. So between 8, 16, and 10, that means it is going to be 2. What? When you divide out a 2, you are left with 4r squared plus 8r minus 5. Obviously, there's no other, this looks like a V. There are no other Still looks like a V, but we'll call it a day. There are no other factors in common between these three terms, so we're going to start doing our slip and slide. Remember, this first term multiplies by the last. We are left with 2 times r squared plus 8r minus 20. Okay, we factor. Remember, leaving that GCF on the outside. What multiplies to give us negative 20 but would add to give us positive 8? That would be a positive 10 and a negative 2. Okay, we slipped, we factored, now we have to divide by what we slipped, and we slipped a 4, so we're going to divide by 4, divide by 4. This simplifies into 2 times r plus 5 over 2 times r minus 1 over 2, and then the last step is to slide that up. So 2 parentheses 2r plus 5 times 2r minus 1. That was a slip and slide with a GCF. And then the last one we're going to do together is number 30, meaning we have to divide by a binomial. And I chose one that you had to do grouping with. So we're going to split this one in half, but we're still going to be able to see it. Let's draw a better line. Draw a better line. Oh my God, I'm drawing, at least I'm accurate, right? Whatever, we see the line. So factor out the common factor between a squared b plus a squared c. So obviously that's going to be a squared. And once we factor that out, we get b plus c. Oh, we already can see that that's the one that's going to be canceled. Over here, once again, we want a plus in the binomial that's left. So I want to take out a negative. I'm going to take out a negative 5, and that leaves us with b plus c once again. So what can I do c's? This now becomes a squared minus 5 times b plus c over, over b plus c. And then we know that these two cancel. So we're left, our answer for this problem is a squared minus 5. Because these cancel out, right? So like I said, if you're still having trouble, if you still, can't really get your feet under you about all of these problems, because literally the test is from this packet. So very, very similar problems you will see on the test tomorrow. And that's it. If you have other questions on this, like I said, I will be available from 11 to 1 to play Quizlet for you. If you don't want to play, the link will be posted to the cards. You can review them by yourself. Or in addition, you can come to office hours and you can ask me questions about homework 13, which is also another review. Okay, so after that is your test. See, this is the test. I'm getting the problems right from here. Same thing that we've been doing for a while now. I might cut some problems out, but we'll see about that. Okay, so that's that. That's what I have for you today. I hope you have a great life until I see you in a little while. All right, guys, see ya.